Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Art Hour. This week we will be doing Vanellope von Sweets from Wreck-It Ralph. She is our last of our Disney Pixar series. Next week we'll be starting video game characters, so I thought this would be a nice crossover. If anyone has seen the film Wreck-It Ralph, will see it's lots of fun and adventures within the realm of video games. So I thought Vanellope, or Glitch as she's known most of the way through the feature, was a nice place to start. So here we have Glitch, or Vanellope. And we are going to be using today our pencil crayons, and we are going to be using black felt tip, black fibre tip pen. I'm going to be using a 2B pencil, but obviously just use a HB, and I've also got a rubber and my trusty pencil sharpener if we need it. They're all the colours that I've got for Vanellope. Some quite bright colours, and then some skin colours and hair colours. I don't have a very dark brown, so that's the way that I'll be producing that very dark brown today. So let's start with our clean piece of paper. We'll pop her there. Now the first thing we're going to do is draw our circle. So our circle, I did measure this one. Our circle is going to be 10.5 centimetres widthwise, which goes to about there. So if we get our circle in, there's our circle. So then we are going to do our normal axis. So that will be there and there. And then it will be here and here. So we get our axis on. And that just helps us work out where the rest of the face is going. There's our axis line there. And then what we're going to do from here also is we're going to echo this circle, and we're going to draw another circle over the outside of that circle. So kind of that shape. Okay. And then from there, like we did with Simba, we're going to be getting some ears in. So what we need to do, from there up and from there down, so it's only a small space there and then a larger space there, we're going to get an ear shape in. Just like that. So there's our ear shape that we're getting in, and we're going to echo that this side, but if we just draw a line there and there, this one is just coming outside, and then it's going quite far inside because she's looking that way. So you're going to see a lot more of that ear and not very much of that ear. So then once we've got that in, we then start on this line and we make an earlobe shape. And then we echo that this side, just with a little C shape there. And then from there, we are going to draw a little line right there. And that is going to give us on down here, kind of that way. Right, got carried away. So this is where we have a parting. This is where her hair has a parting. So we're going to give it, take ourselves round to the top of this ear shape here. And then this is a straight line down. And then from that line, I'll take in another line down that way. And that's Vanellope's hairline there. Got that one there. And then that one there. Let's get rid of that line. We don't need that. So we've got an ear. And we've got this bit coming down. And then we're just going to get a chin shape. So we've already got an ear, and all we're going to do is take that in very slightly from the circle. It is really kind of still following the circle. It's just a teeny bit smaller, just a teeny bit. And it just gives us, and her chin, the bottom of her chin does actually sit there. And now we've got a chin, we're going to get a bit of a neck shape in there. And then here, we're going to get in some fringy bits is the only way I can describe it. We call it fringy bits. And we're following that line that we put in down. So we're going to lift just a little bit over that line that we put in. And we're going to get in a few little fringy bits. Okay, now we've got fringy bits in. What we're going to do is, see this fringe here, we can rub out this line. And this line here. So then, Vanellope's hair is in a ponytail. And we're going to put in little shapes. Just along here. So then if we remember, as Vanellope is with her name, she has sweets all over her hair. So we can put in a couple of little shapes. Across her hair. Now you can put these pretty much anywhere you want to. And then here, I'm just going to put that little swing there. And we'll go about that in a minute. Let's get those out. We don't need all of those. Maybe just put one there. And then, so it's kind of like sprinkles, isn't it? She's got all over her hair. We'll just go for sprinkly shapes, I think. There we go. Maybe one, two here. And put a couple sideways here. So we can rub out this line here. Get rid of that now. And then we need to get in her bobble. So her bobble, kind of that shape. It's like a humbug, so we're going to give it some humbug lines, and then it twists out. So we put a twist, that type of shape in, and then a similar shape the opposite side. And as we've done here with this kind of humbug shape, we need to echo that across here. Okay, as we've got that, we're now going to sweep. She's got a lovely, voluptuous ponytail. So what we need to do is sweep that round back area there. And then give her a little end flick there. So it's kind of echoing the shape of area, this extra little flick that she's got. Coming up and round, starting right about here. So again, the other with the sweets, I'm going to pop a couple of sweets on here as well. And then those little hair shapes. Oh, lovely. You can hear my dog in the background. He's having a little cry. Lots of panting. He's warm today. So there is Vanellope's hair. So let's start with Vanellope's nose, because her nose is tiny. It's like a little button, and it sits right on that crossroad there. And it's teeny tiny. And then if we go kind of that way and that way, we have mouth. So we pop in that line, and now we're going to pop one in slightly over and around, and we're going to get some teeth in there. And a little bit more of a lip. And then eyes wise, we are following this line here. So we've got this eye here. And here. So that kind of shape. Now Vanellope's eyes are quite forgiving because she has got quite lovely luscious eyelashes. So as long as we get these bits in, we should be okay. And then eyes wise, we'll go in a circle. It's easier to do a circle, and we can rub out the other bit. So I'll go in one eye there, and then one eye there, and then a little circle there. And this one, very similar. That's where the extra circle would go. So what we need to do now is rub this bit out. Putting that line back in. And then there, we take that one out there. Let's get that a bit more circular. Now Vanellope's got beautiful eyelashes, so we're going to sweep these kind of out this way. And then once we get those bits in, we are then going to run a line around here, like a line, and down, and again this side. Their eyelashes kind of start around here. And I'm going to pull a thicker line across here. There we go. So after we've done those, we need some eyebrows. So we give ourselves a line up and that way, and that'll give us more of an idea. Ladies will tell you if they have to draw on their eyebrows, they need to start at the beginning of their eye and finish around about the end. So that gives you a better idea. And again, this one, because we're on a slight angle, this one is going to be kind of around there, but then it goes underneath her fringe quite a bit. Just make that a bit bigger there. I like it. So there is eyebrows, eyes, little button nose and a mouth. So now we can rub out our guidelines. Sometimes means as you rub out your guidelines you lose some of your drawing, so just keep going in and getting your lines, all your lines back in. Maybe lift that up just a tiny bit there, I think. There we go. A bit closer, shall we? There we are. Now let's rub out this line here and then these other guidelines that we've got. Just give it, because Vanellope's got she's got a hoodie on for 99% of the movie. We're just going to put a little V line there just so we can kind of show that she's wearing her little hoodie. Bottle. Okay, I think that's all my guidelines gone. So let's give Vanellope some colour. So I'm going to start with this peachy colour. And this is going to be for Vanellope's face, neck and ears. So we're going to use a harder pressure here and then here. Here because her hair, inside, because obviously it's inside her ear. And then a harder pressure here because it's the shadow of her chin. And her nose. And just a slightly harder pressure above her eyebrow. And then obviously this part of her face, because it's got the hair. So then let's get some circular motion around where Vanellope's cheeks are, because she's got quite lovely rosy cheeks. Lovely rosy cheeks. Now we're going to get this colour here, which is a red, kind of a browny red. So we're going to pop a little bit of that in there, just to help create a shadow. We're using quite a few colours there to create the shadow. And then we're going to use, again, the pink here. And the same here, so and then the lovely lips, so we're going to give that there, and then inside her lips there. And then once we've done that, Vanellope has beautiful amber eyes, so we are going to first of all colour everything in with a yellow. And we're going to give it a little bit harder up there, just a little bit harder up there, and again there, just because that will be where the shadow of her eyelid will be. And then we are going to use an orange, and we're going to zigzag that out. Zigzag that out all the way around. Lots of zigzags. Just like that, and then dark brown. And that gives the idea of that. So then we're going to go in with our dark brown, with that light brown, I should say. And we're going to give her nose a little bit more shadow there. And then tiny bit there. And then around here. And then we're going to use this light brown here. And here. And then as we did before, there. So then we need to go in with our colours. So these are to do all the sprinkles. So obviously you do all your sprinkles, all different colours. So I'm going to use pink, purpley pink, magenta if you're being a snob. And then we can go in with a yellow. And then a blue. They tend to be the colours that are mainly on her, the little sweets that are on her hair. Yellow. So then we're going to move on to the candy twist, which is here, and for that we are going to be using pink and purple. So I've got those three, so that's what I'll be using. So we'll start with the pink, and what we're going to do is create our shapes. We're going to leave a little section of white paper showing through, and that's just to give the shine, because I think it's like a twist sweet maybe, that's quite shiny. So what we need to do is still leave a bit of that shine of the paper, and that just gives the impression of a shine. So we're starting with that, and then we're going to use our slightly darker pink. And then in with our purple. Or maybe a different purple. And this is just for the darkest areas. So bits that would be close to her hair. So these little areas here. Now that's done, we're going to go in with our fibre tip pen, and we are going to go in with for Vanellope's pupils. Colour these in. Now we colour these all in because we've already incorporated that little circle outside as the shine. So the whole lot needs to be black. And then we're going to do the same over this side. There we are, so now her eyes are in. She looks a bit more real, doesn't she? So let's give her some her eyelashes. I'm going to take that over. And these eyelashes we're going to colour in all black because she's got black hair. So they need to be all black. Okay, so then we go onto this side. So there's her eyelashes in. Now she's looking a lot more realistic, isn't she? So let's get these eyebrows in. And again, we're using our black marker. And then we need to get this other eyebrow in. There we go. So let's get some brown in for now. Tell you what we'll do first. We'll get some green. Just going to get a bit of green there. A bit of the teal colour. That's just to give the impression. So looking at the time now, we are nearly done. So there is that bit, and then we are going to colour her hair in brown, and we're just going to give it one block colour all over because we're going to put the extra bits in with a black pen. So all I want you to do is get block of brown on her hair, and that will just make sure that on the highlights it's not white, it'll be brown. Just don't forget to not colour in your sweets. Obviously you can take your time a little bit when you're done. This is just some block colouring for now. So then we're going to get our black felt tip pen, and we're going to get some black in Penelope's hair. So let's use, I think that's a little bit thick, so we'll go in now with this one. That's a bit better. So then we need to make our shine. So as we did with this bit here, we're going to leave the central little bit just free of black. And then here, just leave a little gap. There we go, and then again, one little gap there. And we keep going, next notch. Notch. And then finally, let's do hair. Ponytail. I'm going to swap back to the thicker end. Just for speed, you don't have to use a thick pen. You can There she is. All done. You can go over if you want to the other areas of pencil, but I'm going to leave her there. That's Vanellope von Schweetz all done. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.